I know that I was doing a lot of thinking, like, what am I about to do? What is this? When is this going to be over? I stayed in my car for a little bit over a month. Of course, you don't want to sleep in your car, but it was at by that time. It's like this is what you have to do. Do it. What are you going to do now to get some money, some income coming in, to get this over with? How fast can you build enough money to get your own apartment type of thing. So it was more or less like my mind wasn't on the fact of me sleeping in my car. My mind was on how was I going to get the money necessary to get my own apartment. How was I going to shower? How was I going to keep my clothes ironed? Once I got everything together. I never looked like I was homeless. Never at all. I presented myself in a professional manner. No one would have ever, imagined that I was homeless.
That's all for you?
Yes. I knew that I had to begin to budget. Originally, I started off buying 2 meals from Burger King. I would buy a chicken sandwich. I would have them to load everything on it, and also a side salad, which were both $1. So I would say a little bit over $3, $4 a day. I knew going back home I would have been in the same situation. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. I relocated to North Carolina January 1st, 2010, in hopes to gain a closer opportunity to becoming a sports agent. North Carolina offered a sports administration program. I began to constantly reach out to the professor. Long story short, we ended up meeting, and an hour conversation turned into 4.5 hours. He told me about the program that they offered, which would help me get my foot in the door. I told him that I would apply to the College Sports Research Institute. Before I even had started my trip here to North Carolina, he called and said, "Hey, don't worry about finding a place to stay. You can stay with us. You know, we want you to stay with us. You can give us something every month, but in addition to that, I'll make sure that you're fed every night. That'll save you on food. You have a clean shower, everything, and just basically, making me feel like home without me being there." Here, this is a guy that has a huge voice with the university. So to hear him say, you did a great job. I knew that you were, that had the ability to definitely work hard, and this is that, and that was just something like it made me feel good about myself. It made me want to work harder. And I believe God allowed me to be introduced to this man for a reason. My father passed when I was 18, but he filled that void of not having a father figure in my life. And you don't find people like that on an everyday basis, genuine. And I've watched this man literally cry, boo-hoo tears, and telling me how much he cared about me. His wife, same way, and that means something. That means something. Like they all always have a special place in my life. I had been in there, for the whole length of the program, so my time had come and gone. The reason that I moved out was for me, being a man, I felt that I had made the decision to come down here, and it wasn't anyone else's obligation to take care of me. Deciding to leave originally was extremely hard, especially not knowing your next place that you were going to have to live. They were the reason that I relocated here to North Carolina. I went outside of my beliefs of lying, and ended up telling them that I had found a place to stay, and that's where I was going to be moving, and I would definitely stay in contact with them. Within like a couple weeks, everything went south. It happened so fast. It's almost like a car wreck or something that you have no control over, and you're trying to steer it to the point where you can't even control it. Next thing you know, it just takes a turf of its own. It opened up your eyes to, not to stereotype anybody, because here I am, a college student, graduate, but I found myself homeless. It can happen to you. It can happen to anybody. And it's a situation where when it knocks at your door, it's like you're not even prepared for it. It's like, wow. So I remember nights where I was just thinking, like, no family, no friends, no money. Those are some hard things. Like, those are serious obstacles. It took a while, but things began to pan out. I think the biggest turning point was when I received the phone call from Housing for New Hope, the organization, and they told me to come meet with them. That was the turning point. I still had a long wait, but that phone call itself was like almost like the sunlight beaming in your face, and where you're able to see the end of the tunnel. They encouraged me to stop sleeping in my car and try out living in the homeless shelter. I was in the homeless shelter for close to 3 months, and after being homeless for a year, and I ended up saving up enough money to get my own place, which I've enjoyed a lot. I don't think that I've changed, but I think it made me say, your desire to want to work for people, it cannot wait. Do what you can do now. My main goal of wanting to be a sports agent wasn't because I was just so fascinated with the sports. It was about the disappointment of, the lives of athletes after they retired. My main goal was for service. Now I am a teacher at Githens Middle School. I deal with exceptional students, either cognitive deficiencies or behavioral. I had one kid today, full suit today. Rock usually wears, athletic gear. He's a cool guy. And I'm like, what's going on with Rock? And his words were exactly, I want to be so fresh and so clean like Mr. Baker. He said, I want a job one day. I want to take care of my mom. So if it's going to take me, doing certain things, I'll do it. And just to be able to experience someone experiencing that aha moment is priceless. Every single day I enjoy going to work because I know for sure I'm just not bringing in a check. I know that I'm actually changing lives.